Hello everyone, welcome to the new session. Let's learn about part 1 of the chapter Should Wizard Hit Mommy by John Updike. So let's begin the first part of detailed explanation. And before we go ahead, let's have a brief introduction about the author, John Hoyer Updike, having a lifespan from March 18th, 1932 to January 27, 2009. He is among the popular American novelist, poet, short story writer, art critic, and literary critic. So he's among all those three writers who won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction more than once. Among his popular publications, there are more than 20 novels, more than a dozen short story collections, as well as poetry, art, and literary criticism, and children's books during his career. So before we have a look at the theme of the story, let's have a brief introduction about the story. This chapter captures a very sensitive reaction of a small girl named Jo to one very important aspect of a story that her father, Jack, relates to her in the story. So, obviously, Should a Wizard Hit Mommy reveals the worldview of a little child to a difficult moral question that shows her mental or psychological richness and fertile imaginative depth. So in this way, we'll find out that how the story also deals with very important theme, and that how a child's perspective differs from that of an adult's. So the story raises a moral issue whether parents should decide what the children should do, or the parents should allow their children to do what they like to do. So then it deals with a child's innocence represented by Jo, a 4-year-old little girl, and adult's perspective represented by Jack, Jo's father. Parents know what is best for the children, even though the children may not realize this fact. And then again, a child's perspective very often clashes with the adult's perspective. That means the opinions of a child differs from that of an adult. And in this way, the story addresses some very common issues found in most families. So here the story begins. Jack is the storyteller in this story. So in the evenings and for Saturday naps like today, Jack told his daughter Jo a story out of his head, means out of his head or based on his own imagination. It was almost a kind of tradition, it had become a kind of habit for Jack to tell stories to Jo on Sundays and Saturdays. And this custom, this tradition of storytelling began when she was 2, and in this way, this entire procedure of storytelling had completed almost 2 years, and Jo now turns 4. And it was itself now nearly 2 years old, and his head felt empty. Many a times, Jack found it really very difficult to find out new story plots for Jo. Each new, now there are some very basic traits of Jack's stories, that each new story was a slight variation of a basic tale. For example, in almost each story told by Jack, there would be a small creature. Usually the first name of that creature would be Roger. For example, Roger Fish, Roger Squirrel, Roger Chipmunk. And in every story, this Roger creature would have some problem. And with this problem, the Roger creature would go to the wise old owl. And then the wise old owl would ask him to go to the wizard. And the wizard would perform a magic spell, and that with the help of that magic spell, the problem of the Roger creature would get solved. And in lieu of this performance magic spell, the wizard would demand payment, and every time the wizard would ask for pennies greater than, or the money or coins greater than the number that actually the Roger creature had. But at the same time, when the Roger creature would be short of money, wizard would ask him, give him necessary direction to go to a place where the extra pennies could be found, could be arranged, and then the Roger creature would go to that place and collect the remaining money or pennies, and would pay the wizard for the magic spell. And in this way the Roger creature would be happy, and as he would play many games with other creatures, and then by the evening the Roger creature would go home to his mother who would be waiting for him and being punctual, and then both of them together will wait for Roger Creature's daddy return home from Boston, and then the family will be united and together they will have their dinner. And Jack would describe how they would have their dinner, their supper, and then in this way the story would get over with a happy ending. So, working his way through this method of storytelling, sometimes now it seemed to Jack very much fatiguing or tiresome or exhausting, especially on Saturday, because Jo was no more a little girl. She was 4 years old now, and she never fell asleep now in naps or short sleeps anymore so easily. And knowing this fact that it would be difficult to make her fall asleep, many a times made this rite or this custom or tradition of storytelling useless or futile. Now, at this moment, when Jo is almost ready, and this is Saturday afternoon, and Jack is trying his best to tell a story to Jo so that she could fall asleep for some time, so that he could go downstairs and he could help his wife Claire, who was expecting, and both of them were expecting their third child. In other words, Claire was pregnant and he wanted to help Claire in the household chores. So this little girl, Jo, not so little anymore, the bumps her feet, strikes her feet made under the covers, under the bed covers, were halfway down, and down the bed, which bed, their big double bed that they allowed her to sleep on, especially for naps, afternoon naps, or whenever she was sick. And now she had almost arranged herself, made herself completely ready to listen to the story. And the way she was sitting, all agile and completely alive, and there was no sign that she would easily fall asleep. So, fat face deep in the pillow shone brilliant in the sunlight that sifted through, that came through the drawn curtains or shades. So, it did not seem at all fantastic to Jack that some magic would occur and she would fall asleep and she would take her nap like a small baby or like an infant of 2 years. So, on the other hand, her brother Bobby, who was 2 years old, had already asleep with his bottle in his mouth. And then Jack, who was in a hurry, who was in a dilemmatic condition, because on one hand he wished Jo to fall asleep, and on the other hand he was in a hurry to go downstairs to help his wife Claire. Now Jack was almost ready to start the story, and he wished that Jo should tell what should be the story about. So, who shall the story be about? He asked Jo to tell who should be the hero. So, let's see the way. Now, while we must observe that during this storytelling by Jack, the way Jo reacts to each and every development of the story, the way she interrupts her father and she makes questions or she expresses her inquisitiveness, we must observe. So, when he asked for the hero of the story, she just acted like an adult and Roger, and then she squeezed her eyes shut and smiled and just acted as if she was thinking deeply. And then all of a sudden she opened her eyes that were similar to her mother's blue eyes. And then she said a skunk. And she named the hero very confidently. This is a skunk, a cat like creature, small creature with a very foul, irritating smell. So, Jack was a little excited as soon as he heard a new hero for the story, a new animal, and he just thought that children or nursery students must talk about, or the teachers in the nursery schools or pre-primary schools must talk about skunks at nursery schools. So, having a fresh hero momentarily stirred Jack to creative enthusiasm. It gave a kind of inspiration to Jack. So he was all set, and in this way he started the story. Once upon a time, in the deep dark woods, there was a tiny little creature by the name of Roger Skunk, and he smelled very bad. And Joe agreed to this fact about skunks, that skunks smell indeed very bad. So he smelled so bad that none of the other little woodland creatures would play with him. Jack continued the story, and at this piece of information, Joe was a little serious. Joe looked at him solemnly, very quietly, because she hadn't foreseen this. She had not expected this to happen, that just because of bad smell, other creatures would not play with anyone or they would avoid. So Jack continued. Whenever he would go out to play, Jack continued with enthusiasm, remembering certain humiliating situations of his own childhood of embarrassment. And then he continued, all of the other tiny animals would cry, uh-oh, here comes Roger's stinky skunk, smelling skunk. And then immediately they would all run away, and Roger's skunk would be all standing there all alone, and he would be very upset, and two little round tears would fall from his eyes. And as soon as this piece of information was given, the reaction was given by Joe was they were she was very much upset as the corners of Joe's mouth drooped down and her lower lip bent forward as he traced with a forefinger along the side of her nose the course or the flow of one of Roger's skunk's tears. So, at this moment, at this stage, we see that although Jo was a 4-year-old little girl, but she was sensitive to the problems of other beings. So now, as soon as Jack informs that all the animals, all the friends left Roger's skunk and they refused to play with him, she asked that whether he would not go to meet the owl. She asked in a high and faintly roughened voice. What was the observation of Jack? Sitting on the bed beside her, Jack felt the covers tug as her bed covers got stretched, got tightened as her legs tensed or stretched tensely. He was pleased. Now he realized the emotions that were represented through this behavior of Job. He was happy for this psychological development. And after all, he realized that he was telling her something about true. He was telling her about a true fact of life, a harsh reality of life, something she must know. And that's why he was not at all in a hurry to go ahead with the story. But at the same time, he was in a dilemmatic condition. Downstairs, a chair was pushed or pulled, scraped, and he realized that he must get down there to help Claire paint the living room furniture or woodwork. So that's all for this session.